Time now for What the Farage with politician and Brexit legend Nigel Farage. And breaking tonight, Donald Trump is now in transit back to Florida after being formally arrested in New York City in extraordinary scenes earlier today. He appeared in court faced with 34 charges of falsifying business records. Now, Trump is due to make his first official statement on today's events from his Mar-a-Lago home in Florida in the coming hours. But the former president's son, Eric Trump, who accompanied his father to New York, has already taken to Twitter to hit out at Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, who we saw earlier in the show. Trump wrote, "Alvin Bragg has shut down the entire city, called up 30,000 NYPD police officers, closed down the FDR Drive, and is spending an estimated $200 million of city funds, all for a $130,000 NDA. I never thought I would see this level of corruption in the United States. Hashtag Free Trump." Well, I'm delighted to welcome good friend of Donald Trump, Nigel Farage. Nigel, look, I was watching you tonight as those incredible scenes developed in Manhattan. I've said on my show tonight that this is a political prosecution. It feels very hard to argue with that now, especially in light of those incredible statistics laid out by Donald Trump Jr. there.
Yeah, I mean, what was laid out there by Eric is absolutely brilliant, isn't it? Literally closing down the city. Look, who a private business pays their money to is their business. It is, in relative terms, a tiny sum of money. And if this should have been reported to the campaign, well, look, the Obama campaign was seriously wrong in its accounting. They got fined. Bob Dole, who ran for office, his accounts were wrong. He got fined. Hillary Clinton used money to pay Christopher Steele, and that campaign finished up with a fine. This is completely and utterly unprecedented. This Democrat prosecutor has pushed this way, way too far. I cannot believe that any fair-minded person looking at this cannot say this is just plain wrong. But it's not Donald Trump that's on trial. It is due process. It is the American Constitution. It is whether the American public can trust their judicial system. It's that serious. And of course, remember, as leader of the Western world, if America falls, we all fall. So the stakes could not be higher.
Indeed, and Nigel, don't you think that's why many Brits who perhaps in the past had lots of issues with Donald Trump, the man, are actually starting to see the bigger picture? I mean, we had Christine Hamilton on our Superstar panel earlier saying, look, I'm actually quite repulsed by lots of aspects of Donald Trump's character, but I absolutely back him now. I absolutely believe he needs to be president again because there's so much more at stake for the Western world.
Absolutely. And I mean, at risk of having to wash my mouth out, so I thought the Today programme on Radio 4 this morning was really quite objective. I mean, they made the point that this is an overtly political prosecution. So if even the BBC have woken up and smelt the coffee on this one, then I think, yes, fair-minded people will see this for what it is. There is something about Trump's personality that leads to the well-known Trump derangement syndrome, where people lose all sense of perspective, all sense of balance. I really believe this is much bigger, as I say, than just Donald Trump. You know, America is on trial. Western world values are actually on trial. If we don't believe in the legal systems that we've developed since Magna Carta, if we're prepared to politicize them, we're in big trouble.
Nigel, what are you hearing from inside Team Trump? Look, you obviously have the best connections out of anyone, any working journalist in Britain with the Trump world. What are you hearing about Donald Trump's frame of mind and how does he plan to deal with this now? Because it feels like actually he's seeing this as a potential political opportunity.
Yeah, he probably is, but he's still a human being. And you know, I've said to him in private, once, I don't know any man, and I've been through some stick, I've been through some demonization, but I don't know anybody else who's ever had to put up with I mean, just think about it. The Russia hoax, the Mueller inquiry, the impeachment, on and on and on. Today will have taken a heavy personal toll, be in no doubt about that. He's a fighter, he's a warrior, But this would have taken a personal toll. It'd be very interesting to see at 1:15 a.m. our time what he has to say in the ballroom at Mar-a-Lago. From the team, it's defiance, but actually, yesterday and today, a degree of incredulity. Even though they knew this was potentially coming down the tracks, I don't think they ever thought it would really happen.